Hello viewers, welcome to our channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about metals and non-metals. So coming to metals and non-metals, there are various substances or physical matter in this universe of which we can classify them into metals and non-metals. You might be thinking why this classification is required. Actually, there are many chemical compositions and various reasons why they have classified these matters into metals and non-metals. Okay, now let us discuss what are metals and what are non-metals, what are their properties and uses. And I'm going to make another video in which we are going to discuss how metals are going to react with oxygen, with water, with acidic nature like solutions and basic nature solutions. That would be entirely a complete video uh, regarding reactions of metals and non-metals with various substances. So coming to today's videos, metals, non-metals and their properties. So we can identify metals or any substance from its shape and how hard it is. So we can generalize one of the property as hard. Metals look or feel hard, they are strong. Second one is lustrous. Lustrous. Lustrous is a word used to indicate shiny. Usually metals are a little shiny in nature. If you see gold, silver, iron, aluminium, copper, for example, these metals are little shiny compared to other substances or other non-metals like rocks, um, coal, wood, and plastic, cardboard, anything. Comparing to these substances, these metals are little shiny. Yes or no? Just compare a iron rod with a wooden piece. You can see iron feels little more shiny or glow than wooden piece. Just give a try. And third one is malleable. Malleable is a material where we can change the form or shape of a substance. So let us take an example. We will heat iron and we will beat it. We can mold into the shape whichever we want. And let us take some coal or a wooden piece, and if you burn it and if you try to break it hard, it doesn't change its form or shape according to our desire. Is it just breaks into powder or gives cracks and make a ununiform shape. You can try this. Best example, heat an iron rod and beat it on the floor continuously. It will form a shape. If you try to turn it or curve it, it will turn. Right? Take a coconut and beat it on the floor. It will break into two halves or irregular shapes. Right? Coconut is not a metal. Iron rod is a metal. So you can understand the difference. Depending upon your force and your action, you can shape the heat metal into various form, whereas a non-metals will just distract or break into irregular pieces. So that property is called malleable, like heating it and beating it continuously so that it acquires a shape or a form is called malleable. Next property is ductile. Have you wondered any time why all cable wires are made up of either copper or any material? Right, you can see long copper wires which used for wiring up of our house. So if it is a metal, we can just draw it into the infinite length and make as long thin wires. This is called ductile. This property of extending it or stretching a material is called ductile. Metals are ductile, but all ductile materials are not metals. Example, you can take a rubber. Rubber is not a metal, but it has a property of ductile. You can extend it how much ever you want. You can stretch it how long you want, but it is not a metal. So all the properties of metal are not required to be the properties sole alone. That means There are some properties of metals which are implemented to non-metals as well, but they are only different because they are not metallic in nature. All ductile materials are not metals, but all metals are ductile in nature. Next, fifth property is sonorous. Yes. So, sonorous is a property where you get a different sound from a material. Like if you go to a temple and you just ring the bell, you can hear the sound. Zzz, yeah, right. That is a different type of sound. You can easily identify the sound of a metal and a sound of a wood. Take a wooden block and beat it on the floor, and take a glass and beat it on the floor. Drinking glass, steel glass. You can differentiate the sound. This differentiation is because of the property sonorous of a metal. Metal has a property called sonorous, which produce unique sound or which makes it different from other materials. Next, sixth property is conductance. Conductance of heat or electricity. Conductance. Conductance is a property which is called as flow. Conductance is nothing but flow. If you flow electricity is called conductance of an electricity. If you flow heat, it is called conductance of heat, like that. So conductance is a property from metals. See, daily you will have a breakfast, right? Let us see. Let us assume that the dosa pan on which if you make dosa, if there is no handle to catch it, and if you have to catch with your bare hands, can we do it? No, right? Why? Because metal pan transfer heat. It will transfer heat from the pan to your hand, which will burn your hands. That is why we need a handle, and you should have a protection for it, a plastic protection or a wooden protection, so that you can catch the pan easily, right? So metals conduct heat and metals conduct electricity also. That is why we use copper in our wiring. Can you anytime saw using plastic plastic lines or wooden lines where electricity is flowing? No, those are bad conductors of electricity. They do not conduct electricity. The current does not flow from one point to the another point. That is the reason why metals or copper lines are used inside a wire. So, what are the major properties of metals? Hard, lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous, conductance of heat and electricity. These are the basic properties or physical properties which we can see, feel, and understand that these are the properties of metals. Apart from that, there are various chemical properties also which state that those are metals. That will be discussed in another video detail. Okay, so non-metals. Non-metals need not be hard. They can be soft also. If you take, for example, sand. Sand is not a metal. It is a non-metal. It is soft, right? And lustrous. All non-metals need not be lustrous. They can be dull. They can be dark also. Right? Coal is not shiny. Coal is dark. Wood is not shiny. Yeah, wood becomes shiny when you add polish to it. So wood by itself is not shiny, right? So it is not lustrous, need not be lustrous. Malleable. Non-metals need not expand or take a form or a shape on beating. Ductile. As discussed, non-metals need not be ductile, need not be extendable. Yes, some non-metals are extendable, can expand because of their properties, but all are not expandable. Next, sonorous. They will not generate, all non-metals does not generate a unique sound or different sound or pleasing sound uh, when they are bang, when they are beaten. And next, conductance of heat or electricity. All non-metals need not conduct electricity. Some may conduct, some may not conduct, depends, but all may not conduct heat or electricity. These are the major differences or basic properties which differentiate metals from nonmetals. Let us see some examples of metals and nonmetals. Metals are iron, copper, zinc, magnesium, etc. Non-metals are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, etc. Right? These are few examples of metals and non-metals. And there are exceptions where metals are not hard. Example, mercury. Mercury is a metal but not hard. It is in liquid form, right? If you see thermometer, you will have mercury which is in liquid form, right? It is a metal but it is not hard, it is soft. And next, you can see sodium and potassium. These are also metals. Though they are solid, you can cut them or break them into pieces easily using knife. Okay, that is the reason the properties which we discussed earlier, the 6 basic properties which differentiate metals and non-metals, they are applicable for most of the metals but not for all. As majority of the metals have these properties, we are discussing them, but there are exceptions as well. Mercury, sodium and potassium are the examples that there are exceptions where some metals may not possess all the properties which we have discussed. So if you like our video, please like them, click the like button. If you wanted to give some suggestions regarding improvements or new topics, please do mention them in the comment section. Please subscribe to our channel so that is very encouraging us, and we will do more videos and spread knowledge to you. And last point, I have pinned the Instagram link in the description. Do follow the page and you can get nice updates, quiz and interesting activities where you can participate.